The Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the Toronto Raptors to take a 2-0 series lead. Here is the #1 highlight from the game. Trying so hard.
Keep going.
Poor Kyle Lowry. So if anybody saw that 100-mile-an-hour wind video that was trending on Reddit, that's like they just replaced the heads. But that's a great way to put it because Kyle Lowry is frustrated, man, and I ripped into Kyle Lowry before and the backcourt before, although DeRozan's actually shooting pretty well. The Raptors live and die with their backcourt, and obviously without Valanciunas on the floor too, who won't be going in Game 3. Now it's maybe Game 4. Once again, the Cavs are simply proving that they are head and shoulders above everyone else in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, there was one thing that I really liked about an article that I was reading on the Cleveland Cavs, and it says, at the moment, it was on NBA.com, Cleveland, they are unbeaten, unblemished, unchallenged, all of which I agree with, but this is a really good one. It's unsolved. And I've thought about that for a second, and I was like, I watched the Hawks try to solve them, and honestly, just in their own way, just look to the camera and be like, what the fuck can I do? Like, what can I do? I watched Toronto in the first game play decent. I won't see defense. I'm just not going to do it. Play decent defense. And the Cavs adjusted, and they were able to go from their outside shooting game, which I talked about before, to be able to drive into the paint, find open looks. And then in this game, I watched Toronto play decent, and I will use that term, decent defense throughout. Play good defense for the first quarter-esque. But it's the consistency, and it's that intensity. If you want to beat a team like the Cleveland Cavs, you need to keep that intensity up. It looked like they chucked it, as we call it in British and Scottish terms. Just chucked it fuck it. It looked like they chucked it at half. At that point, I think that the intensity had gone, the morale, the expectation to try and push them further. And I think that we talked about this before, and I think we need to highlight it a little bit more, is that the depth of the Cavs is astounding. I think that they're able to bring in a second lineup that are still on par with the original lineup of the Raptors, especially in this game. And I think that, your standard LeBron James triple-double, your standard Kyrie scoring phenomenally well. But the utility players that they were able to bring in when I was watching the game were just, the standard didn't drop.
Yeah, I mean, Iman Shumpert, again, has been playing well. Richard Jefferson off the bench has been playing well. Even Dellavedova, in his scrappy or dirty, depends on which positive or negative connotation you want to put on it, has been playing efficiently also. Unsolved is the perfect way to put it because no one solved the Cavs. Now, here's what's going to happen, right? There's going to be a media outburst when this series is over in 4 or 5 games because, again, Kyle Lowry will show up in Game 3 or 4 and have a great game.
Yeah, they go back home.
Yeah, they're going to go back home, and the backcourt will get something together, and they'll probably put in a competitive effort and try to win one of these games, which they probably could, but, again, no more than 5 games. And what's going to happen is we're going to head into the finals. And, again, the Cavs will be rested and ready for the NBA Finals, and whoever wins the Thunder and the Warriors series will also, be maybe a more battle-tested team coming out of the Western Conference. But what people need to understand is that it's not the Cavs' fault the East sucks. It's the same thing as it's not the Warriors' fault that teams they play are injured half the time. Yeah. So with the finals of Cavs versus Thunder or Warriors, it's a 50-50 shot. Yeah, this is LeBron's chance to actually, I'd say, his best shot at winning a title for Cleveland, just off the way that they're playing. Tyronn Lue deserves a lot of credit for this. Tyronn Lue, a lot of reports started to surface about how he took control of his team, something that no other coach in LeBron James' history has really done. Tyronn Lue said to LeBron, you can get the fuck out of my huddle if you want to try to run this team. Yeah. And while we see LeBron doing his coaching things inside timeouts and helping Kyrie in certain movements and Kevin Love with certain movements, that's obvious, but Tyronn Lue is the guy who started to space the floor and actually change the offense for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Obviously, defensively, they're pretty sound, they're pretty solid. But in terms of the Raptors, in terms of Game 2, DeMar DeRozan was doing his absolute best to hound LeBron James in that first quarter, and he seemed to be getting a little bit of a flow going and trying to work on LeBron. Remember, this is the DeMar DeRozan who shut down LeBron James in the regular season. God, I can't stand some of the analysts that come out there and they said this is why the Raptors are going to win the series. Their it's 30-28 at the end of the first quarter isn't good defense. It's decent because they didn't score 40 points on you. But if you're going to be on track to score 120 points a game, you're never going to win a basketball series. I mean, ever. The Warriors, during the regular season, during some of the playoffs, will throw up 120 points a game and also will give up 110. Yeah. But they have the offense that can sustain that. Other teams don't, and that is exactly what's going to be wrong with the Raptors. Now, again, Valanciunas comes back, not enough time to really start winning the rebounding battle. But in general, LeBron dropped the triple-double, and no one talks about it. It's just everyone's talking about Steph Curry. LeBron's playing some of the best basketball. Bill Simmons talks about in his book of basketball. Michael Jordan peaked 3 different times in his career, and he actually has a bunch of players that he lists that like they have different peaks, right? So with MJ, it was in the the late 80s. And then he did it again when they started winning championships in the 90s. Then he took the sabbatical to figure out either gambling or baseball, whatever he wanted to do. And then he came back and he peaked a 3rd time. This is LeBron James's 3rd peak, I would consider it at least, because, I'd say it happened in 2007 when he carried that team to the finals. And then it happened again when he started to click with the Miami Heat in the 2nd year when they won. And now, after another season, another new offense, another new system, new coaches, new players, he's turned Kyrie Irving into a prolific scorer. And that's something that never would have happened with Kyrie Irving playing not alongside LeBron James.
And there's something to be said, a little bit away from statistics and away from the way they're playing, is that camaraderie. They would not leave, none of their players would leave the court until they'd all given each other their own special handshake or whatever they were doing.
Watch it. Fun.
But it shows that togetherness. Like Kyrie Irving had to do an interview, so they were all waiting, and everyone was like looking like, why are they still there? Like they've been standing around. They waited. LeBron James waited. He was the one, obviously, at the final handshake. And they've all got. It's these small things that people just overlook. And they're like, they are having fun. They are together, but. That's almost a ritual when it comes to sports. It's like if you practice the little things and you perfect the small things that make a team great, then the bigger things come a little bit easier. And as long as you pursue excellence, which is what the Cavs are doing, I read this. Rick Pitino wrote a book on it, The Pursuit of Excellence, and it's success is a choice. And these are the small things that LeBron James is adjusting. He has seen his role a little bit more clearly now under Lue, and I think that as for previous under Blatt, is it wasn't. His role was defined in many different areas, but now he's just focusing all of his energy where his role can be most influential. That's on the court. That's being a leader out there. Yeah. And I think that those are the little things that go together, making the Cavs easily the most dangerous team, I would say, at the moment. Going on their postseason, unbeaten, and that main point, unsolved. Like the only way to solve a team like the Cavs is through experience. Like you can do all the research, all the coaching, all you want now, but these are the crucial points in this season where you're just going to have to play them to figure them out. And as we mentioned with the Raptors, given those two-game cushion that they slipped up against the Heat, they never given that exact cushion, but they slipped up enough, and luckily for them, their talent was able to bring them back and to push the Heat to the final games. But the Cavs are not going to give them that opportunity. As soon as you give them that cushion, they're just going to take advantage, and they don't want to be complacent. They want to continue to play every game, no matter whether they've got a 2, 3, 4 game advantage to perfection. And that's why I think you could see them go unbeaten to the finals.
If they have a 4-game advantage, they won the series. Yeah. So I mean, look, I watched the game. I actually rewatched I came into the game at the start of the second quarter, and I rewatched the first quarter afterwards because NBA on TNT and ESPN replays all these games all night long, so it's great. So I watched it again, and I was like, because I came into the game and I'm thinking, what defense are these commentators talking about? The Cavs were ripped off a scoring run at the end of the first half. And then I look back. Obviously, there was some defense that was being played pretty well. All right, so Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan can return home with DeMar Carroll and the rest of that team. And Canada hopefully gets one win on their home court. I just want to see Jurassic Park lit, as the kids call it nowadays.
Lit. Jurassic Park.
They deserve one. They do deserve one, but they obviously don't deserve to win this series based on how good the Cavs are. It's not the Cavs' fault that the Eastern Conference sucks. It just isn't. They play who's in front of them. So, and also, where are my commenters at with the Raptors in 4 or the Raptors in 5? There was a lot of you guys down in the comment section after the Eastern Conference semis.
Line up the guilty men.
Where are they at?
Women.
Show yourselves. All right, so game 3 is actually early next week. There's no basketball tonight. There's no basketball
what are you gonna do?
Tomorrow.
Sunday, right?
What am I going to do?
There is some things, Jason. You live in Los Angeles. Breathe. Get some fresh air. Go to a park.
Hyperventilate. There's no basketball.
something else to
There's
do.
baseball, though. Comment below before I get the wrap-up sign. Anytime I mention
FA
baseball.
Cup
it's
finals.
A big wrap-up. FA Cup finals are this weekend. Raptors get one in their home court. Let us know what. I don't. At this point, just leave your comments there, okay? And let me know. We'll discuss in the comments section. At TYT Sports on Twitter. Facebook.com/TYT Sports for more awesome videos. We went live a couple times this week. You should check those out as well. We're live right now, too, so look at that. Live Inception. All other social media for myself or Francis Maxwell is in the description box below. We'll see you later.
If the square jumps around.